The Assembly will come back to order. We'll go to order business 4, reports of standing committees.
Mr. Speaker, Committee on Education, to which were referred Senate Bills 9 to 425, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass. Shannon Bilbert, Axelrod, Chair. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, to which was referred Senate Bill 107, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass. Howard Watts, Chair. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Judiciary, to which was referred Senate Bill 103, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Judiciary, to which was referred Senate Bill 389, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. Brittany Miller, Chair. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Natural Resources, to which was referred Senate Bill 88, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass. Leslie E. Cohen, Chair. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Ways and Means, to which were referred Assembly Bills 484, 526, 527, Senate Bills 445, 448, 449, 453, 455, 456, 457, 458, 459, 460, 461, 462, 463, 464, 466, 468, 470, 471, 472, 473, 476, 477, 478, 479, 482, 483, 484, 485, 486, 487, 488, 489, 491, 493, 494, 497, 499, 500 has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which was referred Assembly Bill 346, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which was referred Assembly Bill 488, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which were re-referred Assembly Bills 139, 357, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which were re-referred Assembly Bills 266, 301, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which were re-referred Assembly Bills 283, 290, 434, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. And your Committee on Ways and Means, to which were re-referred Assembly Bills 292, 449, has had the similar consideration and begs leave to report the same back. The recommendation do pass amended. Danielle Monroe Moreno, Chair.
Order business 7, messages from the Senate.
Senate Chamber, Carson City, June 1, 2023. To the Honorable the Assembly, I have the honor to inform the Honorable Body that the Senate on this day passed Senate Bill 469, and I have the honor to inform the Honorable Body that the Senate on this day passed as amended Senate Bills 126, 143, 162, 225, 233, 342, 350, 413, 416, 435, 492. And I have the honor to inform the Honorable Body that the Senate on this day concurred in Assembly Amendment 633 to Senate Bill 14. Sherry Rodriguez, Assistant Secretary of the Senate.
Order business 8, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 5, introduced by Senator Lang, urging the expansion of comprehensive cardiovascular screening programs and directing the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Health and Human Services to conduct a study concerning such programs and certain other matters relating to cardiovascular disease. Resolved that this resolution becomes effective upon adoption. End of resolution.
Assemblywoman Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 5.
Assemblywoman Peters has moved for the adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 5. Seeing no remarks, all those in favor of adopting the Senate Concurrent Resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted. The resolution is ordered back to the Senate. Assemblywoman Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Staying in order of business 8, I move that persons as set forth on the Nevada Legislature's press accreditation list of June 1st, 2023 be accepted as accredited press representatives, that they be assigned space at the press table in the Assembly Chamber, that they be allowed the use of appropriate broadcasting facilities, and that the list be included in this day's journal.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. That takes us to order business 9, introduction, first reading, and reference of bills.
Senate Bill 126, introduced by Senator Neal, an act relating to economic development, revising provisions governing the NV Grow program, making an appropriation and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 143, introduced by Senator Neal, an act relating to discriminatory practices, revising various provisions relating to discrimination in housing, providing civil penalties and other remedies for certain violations, authorizing the Nevada Equal Rights Commission within the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation to enter into certain agreements with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Commission to investigate and enforce laws relating to fair housing as a certified agency under federal law, providing that certain conduct relating to an applicant or tenant's arrest record, conviction record, or record of criminal history constitutes an unlawful discriminatory practice in housing, providing that certain requirements relating to guarantors constitutes an unlawful discriminatory practice in housing, making an appropriation and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 162, introduced by Senator Scheibel, an act relating to elections, requiring a person who administers a county or city jail to establish a policy that ensures that a prisoner in the jail who is a registered voter may vote in any election in which the prisoner is eligible to vote, setting forth certain requirements for such a policy and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 225, introduced by Senator Harris, an act relating to peace officers, revising provisions relating to the required contents of an application for certification as a peace officer, requiring a law enforcement agency to provide to the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission certain notice and information concerning peace officers employed by the agency, prohibiting a law enforcement agency from requiring a peace officer to make certain attestations concerning cannabis as a condition precedent to employment, prescribing requirements for certain standards adopted by regulation of the Commission, disqualifying certain persons from serving as peace officers, requiring the executive director of the Commission to report certain information to the National Decertification Index of the International Association of Directors of Law Enforcement Standards and Training, or an equivalent database, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 233, introduced by Senator Cannizzaro, an act relating to taxation, providing for the imposition, administration, collection, and enforcement of a tax on the rental of certain heavy equipment, excluding certain heavy equipment from the tax on personal property, providing penalties, making an appropriation, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 342, introduced by Senators Goycochea et al., an act relating to veterinary medicine, revising provisions relating to certain requirements for participants in a program administered by the Nevada Office of the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education, requiring the office to enter into certain contracts and implement certain programs relating to veterinary medicine, making appropriations and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 350, introduced by Senators Padilla et al., Assemblyman Miller, an act relating to healthcare, requiring the Office of Science, Innovation, and Technology and the Office of the Governor to establish the Graduate Medical Education Grant Program for the purpose of awarding competitive grants to create, expand, and retain residency and fellowship programs for physicians in the state, establishing and prescribing the duties of the Advisory Council on Graduate Medical Education and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 413, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, an act relating to sentencing, revising the method for determining credits to reduce the sentence of an offender, requiring the Director of the Department of Corrections to provide an offender with a list of certain programs, requiring the Director of the Department to submit a report to the Board of State Prison Commissioners, which includes certain information concerning the institutional programming and placement of an offender under certain circumstances, requiring the Board of State Prison Commissioners to adopt regulations to carry out the revised method for determining credits to reduce the sentence of an offender, requiring the Department to share information with the Office of the Attorney General concerning actions taken to implement the revised method for determining credits to reduce the sentence of an offender, requiring the Department to report to the Interim Finance Committee concerning such actions, making appropriations, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Senate Bill 416, introduced by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, an act relating to the Department of Corrections, requiring the Director of the Department of Corrections to adopt regulations governing the adoption of a commissary in an institution or facility, authorizing the Director to adopt regulations governing the possession of personal property of offenders, revising provisions relating to the deduction of certain costs from the individual account of an offender, revising provisions relation to the deduction of money from the wages earned by an offender, making an appropriation and providing other matters properly in there too. Senate Bill 435, introduced by the Senate Committee on Health and Human Services, an act relating to Medicaid, requiring the provision of certain information to the operator of a hospital or rural hospital concerning the use of revenue generated by certain proposed assessments, prohibiting the continued imposition of such an assessment under certain circumstances, revising the authorized uses of the revenue generated from an assessment authorized to be imposed on operators of certain agencies and facilities and providing other matters properly named thereto. Senate Bill 469, introduced by Senate Committee on Finance, an act making an appropriation for the Nevada Gaming Commission for employee training and registration fees for conferences and providing other matters properly named thereto. Senate Bill 492, introduced by the Senate Committee on Finance, an act making appropriation to the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for the replacement or purchase of certain information technology vehicles and equipment and providing other matters properly named thereto.
Assemblywoman Howdigee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that all Senate bills read and introduced be referred to the committee as indicated on the Senate bills introductions list dated June 1st, 2023.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We will go to order business 15, remarks from the floor. Assemblywoman Howdigee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Seeing no other business before us, I move that the Assembly stand adjourned until Friday, June 2nd at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
Assemblywoman Howdigee has moved that the Assembly stand adjourned until Friday, June 2nd, 2023 at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Ways and Means members, don't forget, we will not be starting until 9 a.m. in the morning.
Hardest working Committee on Government Affairs, just know that I will be adding 2 bills from Senate bill introductions today onto our bills for tomorrow. So please make sure you review those this evening. And we'll be starting at 9.
And for those